It's that part of a sentence that you say to yourself, and here they are. For instance, I went to the store and bought some groceries. And then there's a bulleted list underneath it. But after the word groceries, you find a piece of punctuation. That's actually not the colon we're going to be talking about today, but you'll find it very interesting.
I'm never asking you again how you're going to introduce the colon.
Well, okay, Randy, can you tell us what we're really talking about?
Yeah, we're doing cleansing for my first blog of the month, my first podcast of the month this year, and we've talked about the colon in several different areas, but we're going to actually talk about next week. There wasn't enough time to do both, so next we're going to talk about the cleansing of the colon in a lot more detail because it is so terribly important. But today I just titled this blog, "What Does the Colon Actually Do?" And, colons, we've all got them. But many people have problems with their colons, and we're going to talk about some of the reasons for that. For the purposes of this particular podcast, I listed the colon as a part of the digestive system. Many of the body system books list it as a separate organ altogether, but it's really at the end of the digestive process. Think about it, if you've prepared a meal. You gather all the ingredients, you mix them and you cook them into a tasty dish, you serve them, you eat them, and then you clear the table and put the leftovers in the refrigerator, or you throw them in the trash. Well, you can use a parallel to that to say that the digestive system, we take in food, we add enzymes, bile salts, and acids in the stomach. We send them through the small intestine to extract what nutrients we can get, and then we place the leftovers in the colon. And so here, water and leftover nutrients are extracted and placed in the bloodstream, and then all the waste products are simply thrown away. Not unlike the whole food process is the digesting of that food process. Like I said, most of the body systems books put it as a part of a separate system altogether because of all the things that it does. I want to talk about three major things that your colon does that people don't often pay attention to. Most of us just think it's a tube through which we get the waste products out of our body.
Right.
But there's some very important functions, important to your health, in fact, important to your livelihood, that take place in the colon.
And before you do that, can I ask?
Sure.
So where does the large intestine stop and the colon begin?
Those terms can be used interchangeably. The large intestine is the colon.
Okay, now I feel stupid.
No, that's not stupid at all. We use the terms interchangeably, but because we do, nobody tries to ever differentiate between the two. When we're talking body systems, we call it a colon. But if we also call it a bowel. So your bowel, your colon, your large intestine, that's all one body system or a part of the digestive system, and that's what we're discussing. It begins where the small intestine dumps into the large intestine with a little thing called an ileocecal valve. If you were to put your right thumb on your right hip bone and run your middle finger down toward your groin, that's the approximate location of the ileocecal valve. And then from there you have usually around a 5-foot tube that first goes up, we call that the ascending colon, goes across the middle of your body, we call that the transverse colon, then turns, makes another 90-degree turn and comes down, we call that the descending colon, and then another part that we call the sigmoid colon that makes that last little turn at the bottom of the abdomen and lines up with the rectum for waste disposal.